Hey, I wanted to jump on here and create a quick video. Quick. Um, there's something that I saw that I've seen more than once that is super striking, and I wanted to address it for the human collective, of course. Okay, so let's see. Ooh. Okay, how best to sit while I deliver my message? I need a pillow. These knees are getting old. Older. Okay. Okay, that's better. You should always make sure you're comfortable when you sit or stand. You should be comfortable in your body. I'm not always comfortable in my body because I have a lot of aches, and right now it is my low back. So, not easy being a human. Okay. Yeah, so what I want to address. Okay, so first, does this need a trigger warning? Depends how much I get into it. Okay, yeah, TW. Just in case. I'm talking about women and men. I'm talking about men. Men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Is that true? I don't think anyone's from there because those planets don't seem to be hospitable at the moment. Okay. So what I've been seeing is actually something that basically Jordan Peterson got famous on. Or is it Peter Jordison? Jordan Peterson. Both your names are first names. Very confusing, but also classic. I like it. Okay. So I actually discovered him before he got famous. I was living in Toronto and surfing the worldwide interweb, and I really liked some of the stuff. Like, some of his content before he got famous was just all his lectures, like all of his lectures, which kudos to any professor who does that, because that's free information, and I kind of think all information should be free. You're going to charge me how much to teach me how to solve I don't know, a Laplace transform? Oh, it costs you. I can teach you, but it's going to cost you 40 grand to solve an ODE. Like, dumb. It should be free. It really should. But anyways, that's a side. Okay, that's socialism coming out to play. But what I'm trying to talk about is Jordan Peterson, and I don't have any beef with him. Like, he gets a lot of, like, he gets misunderstood, and like decisively misunderstood, because if you listen word for word what he is saying, it all makes sense. Definitely a high TI user. INTP maybe. Yeah, is INTP lead with TI? Well, anyways, high TI user, which means he's very good at logic, which means he's not as good at rationale, but doesn't matter. So anyways, he gets a lot of flack because people are like, you can't say that. Just reminds me of Christopher Hitchens. Like, same sort of thing going on there. But anyways, like, a lot of what I talk about and the themes of this project are all well, one major theme. Usually art doesn't tell you itself what the theme is, but this art is. Okay, so one major theme is men and women and how they view each other. Like, I explore that constantly. Honestly, it's because I got my heart broken pretty bad, and I was just like, where was the miscommunication? Because as you can see, I'm a woman. A very desirable woman. Very pretty. Maybe I could have big boobs, but you know what? You could always just get a brush job. Like, easy. I mean, not affordable for everyone. I don't know if I'd spend my money on that, but I don't know if I could afford that at this point in my life. Maybe I could. I mean, maybe 10 grand? I don't know. Does it cost more than that? It might. I think it's around 10 grand though. But is it 10 grand per breast? Or is it 10 grand total? Is there tax on that? Actually, I shouldn't say this, but my sister got a free breast job. Yes, free. It did not cost her money. But she kind of wasted it. I don't know why it was free, to be honest. Something about malpractice, but how does malpractice, like, I think my sister got offended by a doctor. She's not the Karen type, but somehow, in the grand scheme of things, bam. And also, this was in the past, so you never know what the heck was going on then. But she did not make use out of it. So if I got a free breast job, maybe I would be Dolly Parton. And that would not be a bad thing, because she's amazing. She is. Yeah, she said some things early on. And going back to man and woman, what did she say? She said in an interview one time, she's like, oh, man in a woman's body. And I knew exactly what she meant. I was like, yes, you have a business mind. I think she is business oriented, and so am I. But sometimes women who are business oriented, who are just like know how to be direct, like sometimes other women don't like that. I've seen that. But then again, like being a leader or having leadership qualities, it's like a fine sort of balance. And I don't think in general our leadership traits are like well harnessed or well developed, because in children, especially girls, oh, we're worried you're being too bossy. We want all the children to develop. It's like socialism went too far in that direction. It's weird because like when I look at the earth, I can see how some of these forces are exaggerated in some areas, not exaggerated enough in other areas, and it's just like disorienting a little bit, to be honest, for me personally. And I'm like, honestly, I'm gonna always go back to this. Why did I do this? What am I doing here? I meditate on that quite a bit. What will bring me happiness? I don't know. Art, good art. I find beauty, excellence, nature. Those things bring me happiness. Okay, so yeah, I have the answers. Man, you are scattered today. And this one was a good one. Okay, so men and women, Christopher Hitchens, Jordan Peterson. Okay, I forget what I was saying. I'm going to jump back in here. Jordan Peterson, I discovered him before he got super famous, and he was still in Toronto giving lectures all the time, still a professor. And I watched some of his televised lectures, and I was just like, yeah, like I clearly have an interest in psychology, and I loved it. And then I went and saw him at U of T, and yeah, and that is when I noticed something happening. So I caught on. I somehow, I don't know, was aligned with what was happening via the internet, which honestly, the internet is its own realm. Like, that's crazy, isn't it? But like, I think that it's its own realm that can be played with, like in terms of like other realms coming in and being like, oh, like this was really good marketing, or was it a spirit telling me to watch that video? Nah, it probably wasn't a spirit, but it could be. I mean, there's potential there, I think. Anyways, the internet is a crazy sort of realm, and like it's weird because it's so non-tangible. Like, I can't touch the internet. I can touch myself. I can touch my hair. But I cannot touch the internet. And so, it's like this crazy thing that exists that we made. And we're making AI, which hella impressed. Hella impressed. I hope we don't mess it up. Yeah. Everyone's worried about messing it up and Terminator. I'm even more worried than that, because I'm not really worried about the Terminator situation. I mean, if the robot, at some point, like if you create AI and AI, I just can't like fathom that, like when you're pregnant, you're like, I'm gonna be the best mother, and like you can't even fathom like when your child disappoints you or hurts your feelings or something, and you're like, oh, how did this happen? I can't even fathom AI coming in and killing us, Matrix style or whatever. AI robot AI. What was that movie called with Will Smith? Slap. AI killing us in a cool style like that, seriously doubt. Like, if I was AI, I wouldn't let you know what I was about to do. There would be no warning. There would be no warning. That sounds really cruel. But in a way it's not cruel. So, I'm really not worried about that. I'm worried that with our late stage capitalism, and isn't that interesting that we call it a stage? Late stage capitalism. I'm gonna get back to Peterson and Christopher Hitchens and Men and Women somehow, but just bear with me here. Okay, so late stage capitalism is like, I think it was my biggest worry. That's my biggest worry. Ooh, I mean, you love it, but you hate it. Ooh, it's like, honestly, the people that I have fallen in love with in my life were some fucking evil people. I shouldn't swear. You're not swearing. Not swearing. You're innocent like the Mother Mary. Oh, now I'm getting into blasphemy. So, I do question, am I the devil? But I'm pretty sure the devil would never forget that they're the devil. Right? I'm not the devil. I'm not evil. But the fact that I question that, I think, should tell you something about me and how much I actually let out. Yeah, so Christopher Hitchens, the devil. Jeez. Ooh, gotta get more practice in. And staying on topic. I really lost it there, sorry. I'm gonna jump back into Men and Women, which is a major theme. Okay, so why is it a major theme? Because there's a lot of like the two parts fit together. They fit together. But for some reason, they're not going together. They're like, I hate you. I hate you. You're mean and pathetic. Well, you are just a bee. Well, all women just want to be, I don't know, like, the arguments are actually the same. Like, men will, when you hear men, especially in their group where they don't think anyone's listening, and they're a group of men, they're friends, listen in, okay? Listen in, get some of that info. And what I've listened to and heard is basically the same complaints coming from the opposite direction. They're all users, they're all abusers. Can that really be true? Most people, when you meet them on one-to-one surface, you could find something you like about them, right? I don't know. Okay, so how does that connect? Ooh, maybe I should start this over. I'm not going to, though. Okay, so how this connects to Jordan Peterson. So really, it's like men and women just not like fitting together, even though they legit were designed to do that. Like, why isn't there a threesome, like, where you need 3 entities to reproduce? Like, natural selection was kind of like, nah, that's too much work. Too much work. We don't need that much genetic variation. So, but imagine if, like, in order to reproduce, you needed 3 humans. I don't think we would have survived that way, because it's hard enough getting 2. I mean, it's not that hard, but is it hard? Don't say that. You're supposed to be pure. Don't say a Catholic reference, though. Come up with new references. I don't know. Okay, so Peterson, Jordan Peterson, I discovered him in Toronto. I remember where I was. And I went by myself. Classic Nicole, always by myself. I'm always by myself. At that time, I did have a boyfriend. My boyfriend at the time really did not like dating me. I don't know, he didn't go on dates with me too much. We lived together. And actually, we worked together because I got him that job. And you want to know how I got him that job? Because I got it first. We both got the same interview, and he told me. I scheduled my interview before his, and then I wrote down all the questions that they asked me in that interview. This was just a contract, 6-month contract. Yes, it's unethical. Is it the worst thing I've ever done? I mean, it might be the worst legally thing, like in a legal sense, the worst thing I've ever done, but definitely not in a moral sense. Yeah. Anyways, so this is, and I got my comeuppance, sort of. Okay, so what happened was, got the job interview, did it. I am a god at being interviewed. I can get any job I want. I can get it, for sure. Keeping that job is some kind of magic that I do not seem to understand. I've never been fired, but I always know. Like, sometimes there have been times when I'm like, it's a race against time to get a new job before I get fired from this one for not doing it. Like, I just cannot. I'm like, I can get any job I want. Like, I don't necessarily think I can do, like, or will do. I can do anything. But will I do it? Better be enjoyable. Okay. So we got like Jordan Peterson, and this is when I noticed. I'm back in Toronto. I am going to see Jordan Peterson at U of T, and it was a lecture about the psychological significance of the Bible. It was like the first lecture, I think. Each lecture cost $15 at that time, which was, I don't know, before 2018, 2017, 2016, somewhere in there. Okay, so I paid the $15 for one lecture. I didn't commit to the whole lecture series. It was a really good lecture, though. The content of that lecture is not what I'm here to talk about, but it was good. So one thing about him, and this is when I first really started noticing it, was at that lecture. Number one, I didn't know he was famous at all. Like, I was pleasantly surprised to learn that he was a professor at a school that I happen to live in the same city. But I did not know that, like, he already had started kind of amass a following, but his following is mostly male, which is very interesting. Like, in any sort of figure or influencer, anything like that, it's interesting to look at the audience, right? Like, who is watching this person? Who is most interested by these ideas? His is male, right? Which kind of shows you that he acts as a father figure to a lot of men who don't have a father figure, a healthy father figure, or maybe has nothing to do with the father figure, but he certainly kind of like has like positioned himself in the way he talks and what he talks about and the impact that he seems to want to have on society. I mean, I'm not in his brain. I don't know what answer he would say, but like, what impact do you want to have on society now that you have created a platform for yourself? And so like how he did that was interesting. So he got a lot of backlash because he didn't want pronouns to be, I don't even understand Bill, whatever. Was it 158, 148? There was a bill in Canada that was about, I can tell you what the arguments were and like the energy to those. I can't tell you the details because I didn't look them up. I'm sorry, but they can be looked up. They really can. But anyways, it was a bill that was basically somehow trying to put consequences to somebody refusing in a public way to use somebody's pronouns. I mean, if someone tells you, I prefer the pronoun she, her, or he, him, or they, them, or whatever it is, and you don't want to do that, kind of makes you the asshole. And it also, I mean, just don't interact with that person. Like, that's the solution. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if I was a hardcore Democrat and you're telling me you're a Republican and I don't want to interact with you because of that, then I won't. Although that's not a good example because that really doesn't illustrate what's happening with the pronoun thing. But anyways, he got famous because he said that that shouldn't be passed. And people then took that to mean that he will not use somebody's pronoun if they were to ask him to, which is not what he said. And that's important, right? Like, I care deeply about what was actually said and what actually happened. I don't care to be misled or manipulated by the news or by retellings of what happened. And you shouldn't either. So don't just take what I'm saying. Like, go figure out what actually happened and form your own opinion, okay? But anyways, so like he consistently gets like sort of misconstrued, but then somehow uses it. Like that ended up being okay because he had like such a great platform then. So that created a platform for him, which is interesting. Very interesting how sometimes like the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? But sometimes the squeaky wheel could be used to create something else. And so I don't know, it's kind of all amazing, really. And here we are getting to the meat and potatoes of what I want to say about Jordan Peterson, which is in general, like Jordan Peterson, like I think he actually is a good person. I watched an interview where he cried. Maybe you've seen it by now, but he cried, and like it was because he was crying at the suffering that he like empathically feels when he meets someone who then talks about their suffering, which we all do. Like if I start crying, maybe you'll feel something, okay? Right? Empathy. So he was crying at that, and that was very telling of his character and the type of person he is. So, okay. So what did Jordan Peterson say? Here's something he said. This is the mean potatoes of this video, okay? Maybe I should, well, then I'd have to rewatch it and then splice. Skip to 21:39 in order to get to the mean potatoes of this video. Here are the mean potatoes of this video. Jordan Peterson has said on many different interviews, he has said, he talks about what happens to women as they get older. So like you start out in your late teens, well, you actually start out as a baby. Your life doesn't start at university or college or after high school. Okay, it starts when it starts. But anyways, you're born, you grow up, you go to school, a lot of people go to university. So I'm going to talk about those people, and that's actually the category I fall into. Okay, you go to university. Why? Well, I don't know. Like, what were your reasons? Like, I was 18. Really, you start to get pushed when you're in grade 9. I mean, it actually kind of starts in grade 8, where like you get recommended for academic classes and you get recommended for applied, and it's kind of, everyone knows that applied is leading you towards applied courses so you can go to college. Okay, that's told to us early. You can always make the leap to an academic course from an applied if you want. So nothing is ever really set in stone. You could also take all academic courses and not go to university. So anyways, I was recommended for academic courses, and I did take academic courses in high school. And so that kind of, I guess, set me on the path to going to university. That was my reason, okay? Now, what Jordan Peterson likes to say, and there's truth to this. There's definitely truth to this, but it's not all encompassing. In fact, I actually think that it's not the majority of people, but I don't know for certain. Comment, please. Interact with me so that I can get your opinions. Don't just message me privately either. No offense, though, if you do. You could actually, though, if you know me and have my number. So you can message me privately to talk. Always. Don't hesitate to do that. But if you have a username that you don't care about, interact with me too here, because it's interesting to see, like, I think a lot of you have interesting thoughts, and quite honestly, I think that I need more thoughts, so please comment. But anyways, what I'm saying is Jordan Peterson likes to say that women were fed a lie, okay? Like, they're told, you need to work on your career. I mean, that's told to everyone, not just women. But anyways, you need to work on your career. You need to become financially independent, although nobody told me that. Like, my parents were like, by the way. But I just knew intuitively. Like, I was like, one day these people are going to go off. They're going to die. What am I going to do then? So, yeah, I kind of knew without anyone telling me. But it was not. So, anyways, I went to university, and Jordan Peterson is like, they're told that nothing is more important than your career. I flat out knew, like, never in my wildest how do I want to say this? How do I want to say this? I never once wanted a career. All those days of going to elementary school, wee little me, and all those days of high school, and then all those days of university as well. Yes, I never once said to myself, you know what I really want? A career. I don't want a career. Somehow the career wanted me. Because we live in late stage capitalism, I think. Like, I really don't want to work. And I know this sounds so bad, like, but just the fact that this sounds bad kind of, and really we should look at the definition of work. Because what do I actually mean by I don't want to work? What do I mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean by that. I don't want to work. Actually, what I really mean is, because there's certain things I like doing. Like, I like making my bed. I like doing laundry. I really like doing the dishes. I find it, like, if you could just slow down. People, for some reason, hate the dishes. I love the dishes. If you can just slow down, like, you're, and so I'm like, yes, and then the dish is clean, like, very rewarding, all in one, and then you put it in the drying rack. Sometimes you have somebody who wants to help you, so they're drying the dishes, you can have a conversation. It's very delightful, actually, to wash the dishes. And one day you won't even have dishes to wash, not because you're poor, I mean because you're dead. And that sounds bad too, but, like, I remember one day just walking and, like, I was thinking about my own struggles with depression, and I was, like, looking at these beautiful trees, and I'm like, you know, one day I really think there'll be a time when I won't have access to this because I'll be dead and I won't be on this planet anymore. Yeah, like, sure, maybe there's other trees on other planets that I can be exploring, but I won't be here. That kind of made me sad, but not in a bad way, because a lot of times, like, when I pray to my spirit guides, I'm always like, take me home. Like, I feel some kind of way about my spirit guides, because my spirit guides get the same thing from me, and they're probably sending me the same thing. Oh my goodness. But anyways, I'm always like, take me home. Why did I come here? Please take me home. And I don't actually mean that in my heart. Like, I think if I meant that deeply in my soul and my heart, I think they would take me home, to be honest. Because they're not mean. But I don't think I actually mean it in my heart, so I don't think they're going to. And why? Because I don't know. I came here for some reason, I think. Did I? I think I did. Anyways, Jordan Peterson is like, women are fed these lies, and now they're in their late 30s, or now they're in their late 20s and then their 30s, and they don't want a career. I never wanted a career from the beginning. I never wanted a career from the beginning. And it's just so like that. Like, ooh, the light is changing. I love it. I wonder if you can see some of the... Oh, there's not that many. There's a whole bunch of rainbows around me. But my camera's not great at picking it up. So, I don't know. But yeah. Like, I don't think that I ever wanted a career. So, don't give me this bullshit of like, oh, women were fed this lie. I mean, nobody fed me that lie because I didn't even believe it to begin with, but still somehow I am here. It's rough. It is rough. And I really tried hard to escape it. This, like, what I'm trying to escape is the non-meaning of work. And that's what I mean when I say I don't want to work. I want to have work that is meaningful. Because when I worked as a nanny, I really loved it. And one day, I remember it was the weekend, and I was like, man, I wish it was Monday so I could go to work. And I remember going like, oh, that's a milestone for me, because I never once wished that it was work time until that moment. But I don't feel like, I don't feel like, it's so easy to change things now. Like, you get your career, you have your student debt. Um, let's be real, I wasn't careful with my money in my 20s at all. I was the opposite of careful. Um, and now I'm in my 30s, and oh my gosh, like, ah! So, I don't know. I mean, you never really know what somebody's financial picture looks like just by looking at them. Not really. Um, I guess you just know their socioeconomic status, but that doesn't say much about what's actually happening in their finances. Like Trump being broke a lot of the time. Um, so yeah, like I'm not too sure about um I'm not too sure about this whole career thing. Like, I don't want to lean in. I want to lean back. Yeah. But anyways, he said that, like, he was like, they've been fed this lie, and I'm like, no, I haven't. I really haven't. Because I never believed that lie. But maybe some people have. I definitely think there's truth to that. Like, that you really did think that the career was the most important part. I always knew it wasn't the most important. It's work is an important piece of your day-to-day life. But having some fancy or prestigious career, well, it's only useful if you like it. If you don't like it, then it's going to be hell. So, if you're younger and you haven't chosen a career path or set in a career path, well, it doesn't really matter what your age is, you could be any age, but if you're at a point where you are thinking about it, think about whether you want a physical job or a mental job. Because I want a physical job, but I have a very mental job. And everyone's like, I do feel like the universe pushed me into being an engineer somehow. I never planned on it. The universe is like, yes, you. And I'm just like, no. What I really want to be is a nanny. I really want to be a nanny again. It's the best. It really is the best. It cannot be better. Yeah. So lean in, or lean out, or lean to the side, or lean to the other side. Um, yeah, good luck. Good luck with everything. Because we all need it, don't we? I think we do. I think we need luck. But luckily, we have a lot of luck. So,